Hello, my name is Hartley, and today I will be giving a presentation on the mental health of gifted students. In this presentation, which was prepared for Paul Sweat, superintendent of my local school district, I will argue that gifted students experience unique risks in the realm of mental health that are specific to the gifted experience. This issue is important for my chosen audience because it reflects my experience with my local school district's enrichment program, and I intend to demonstrate this importance by presenting research relevant to both my community and to others who are seeking information about this issue. Before we jump into the specifics of gifted mental health, it's important to understand just what a gifted student is. A gifted student is a child who demonstrates a more advanced intellect than their peers. This can manifest in many different forms, the most common being high score on tests and the ability to skip grades in school. There are other signs of giftedness that are less known, such as lack of engagement in classrooms due to the student finding the material unchallenging. This may manifest in doodling in notebooks or otherwise just daydreaming during class. So what's the deal with mental health? If these students are so smart, then what's causing this? Well, there are plenty of answers to that. For one, gifted students tend to develop their intellects far faster than they learn emotional coping mechanisms. In the cases of skipping grades, these students may seem immature and overreactive, which results in social isolation. Peterson 2006 defines this gap in maturing as asynchronous development. Social isolation can result from other aspects of giftedness as well. According to Cross and Cross 2015, tension in relationships with peers and family members can be caused by a child's giftedness being perceived as a social threat. The child may see their intellectual gain as a social loss for a peer. This may result in the child resorting to coping mechanisms such as denial of giftedness in order to fit in. Another issue with gifted development is misdiagnosis. As remarked on before in the introduction, gifted students can be identified in a few different ways. However, school gifted programs are not always aware of all the signs of a gifted child. Mistaking their behavior for disregard of classroom rules can ruin a child's chances of being enrolled in an enrichment program. This robs them of the protective factors to mental health issues that would otherwise be offered, such as improved self-confidence and academic satisfaction. Eklund et al.'s 2015 study identified this situation as the leading cause of emotional and behavioral risk in these children. Furthermore, without gifted programs, these children are limited in terms of contact with intellectual peers as per Peterson 2009. Students who cannot create connections with peers that have similar abilities are prone to developing depression and are commonly frustrated with their situations. In short, they may feel stuck and disconnected from regular social circles because they lack a point of commonality with non-gifted students that could otherwise be found among similarly talented peers. There are also challenges when it comes to correctly identifying a gifted child as well. When enrolling these students in enrichment programs, a Goldilocks effect occurs. The placement has to be exactly right, not too challenging and not too easy. Cross and Cross 2015 state that when a gifted child encounters an academic environment with peers who are more advanced than them, they become part of the big fish, little pond effect, and may become an underachiever despite their previously demonstrated potential. On the opposite side of the spectrum, where the porridge is cold, we have an unchallenging environment, which is outlined by Spears-Neusmeister et al. 2009 as a cause of perfectionism. Students who have an easy curriculum find themselves unengaged in their schoolwork, and since it is easy for them to do things perfectly early on, they eventually find themselves believing that everything has to be done perfectly, which has consequences later on. Now, that isn't to say perfectionism is bad. In fact, high standards are a good thing when it comes to academic achievements. Dixon et al. 2004 defines 3 types of perfectionism: mixed adaptive, maladaptive, and pervasive. Mixed adaptive, the positive perfectionism, was found to heighten the self-concepts of gifted students and was a driving force behind achievement and self-confidence. However, there are still issues with both mixed maladaptive and pervasive perfectionists. These types are seen as harmful, in which these students are overly self-critical and sensitive to mistakes. In-depth interviews of perfectionistic high school students conducted by Spears-Neumeister et al. 2009 revealed that the origins of perfectionism were often rooted in parental expectations. The difference in Dixon et al.'s study between positive and negative perfectionism was if the students' parents were overly critical of them or not. This proves that the risks of mental health is nurture rather than nature. And while positive perfectionism itself is not an issue, the existence of its negative forms is clearly a product of development and was identified before to be doubly unique to gifted students and therefore should be addressed in the discussion of mental health. Even still, there are arguments that gifted development also presents protective factors. These are factors that mitigate the risk of mental health and were mentioned briefly before in this presentation. In Jones's 2013 literature review, 85% of studies showed that gifted children exhibited these factors on a higher level than their non-gifted peers. Such factors include greater life satisfaction, elevated self-confidence, and increased problem-solving ability due to advanced intellect, all of which make gifted students less likely to develop mental illness. While it is certainly true that the intelligence of gifted students gives them a leg up on facing the everyday issues presented with existence, the fact of the matter is that not all of them are created equal. There are varying degrees of giftedness, all of which come with unique challenges to navigating social situations and expectations. Corson et al. 2018 remarks on the elevated stress levels gifted students face when it comes to achievement expectations, maladaptive perfectionism, and high anxiety, all of which have unique ties to gifted development. So, even though these students are better at facing the common struggles, other issues unique to them require more attention and can cause unseen stress. Building on the idea of the unseen, beliefs that many people hold can greatly influence the mental health of these students. Many see gifted students as smart, talented, and unproblematic. The ignorance of many problems gifted students face presents another issue: preservation of image. Peterson 2009 states that gifted children with perfectionism may see the stereotype of a perfect, unproblematic student and try to uphold it, which prevents them from seeking counseling. I can say from personal experience that gifted children are more perceptive to the burden they may place on their caregivers, and in a result they may try to lessen that burden by denying their own needs. It goes without saying that unawareness of what they may be facing can have consequences that greatly impact their mental health. So, what can we unpack from all this? First, we know that there are a variety of risk factors for mental health caused by gifted development, such as asynchronous development, differentness, and misdiagnosis. Being prone to developing perfectionism, while some cases can have a positive outcome, can also be detrimental to the gifted student's mental health as well when this perfectionism is maladaptive in nature. Other protective factors, while useful in dealing with common struggles, do not acknowledge the unique issues that come with giftedness, such as elevated stress and stereotypes. It may seem like there's no winning for gifted students, that one solution to the problem causes another issue and continues on in a cycle. However, by being aware of the struggles the gifted children face, we are one step closer to providing a better future for the world's brightest. Here are my references. And here are my discussion questions. Have you ever been a part of or known someone who was in an enrichment or GATE program? If so, what do you know about your or their experience with mental health? If not, what have you heard about the program's impacts on mental health? And what role do you believe intelligence plays in the development of mental disorders? Again, my name is Autumn Hartley, and thank you for listening. Have a great day.